CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here now. Jill, good morning.
Good morning.
To you. Let's first talk about these restrictions. What are they?
Well, first of all, you can only withdraw $100 of cash a day if you are a Chase customer who was affected by this, right? So it has to be a debit card customer of Chase who was affected by the data breach. You can pull out $100 a day, and you can only charge $300 a day. Imagine what that's like just a few days before Christmas. Some of these people are really left holding the bag. Does not apply to credit cards. This is just debit cards.
So some Chase banks were open yesterday. Are other banks going to follow suit at this point?
Well, right now we don't see other banks coming out. We've heard murmurs that perhaps Citigroup would follow. But interesting, for example, like American Express, they don't have bank accounts. So the debit card issue is not on the table. But they just say they're going to monitor the situation.
You know, you've heard specialists at this point say these are 20th century cards going up against 21st century hackers. So the real question is, why can't we just beef up security on these cards so it doesn't happen?
It would be so easy, except for one thing, the cost. And evidently, it's quite steep to bring us up to a full century ahead of time. And what that means is you've got, say, about, let's say, $11.25 billion of credit and debit card fraud globally. Well, if you kind of break it down, for the companies, that's a nickel of every $100 of transactions. They basically would say, we'll rather pay the price, even if it's a bad PR hit, rather than spend the money to upgrade the systems. There's also some consternation of who should be upgrading, whether is it the banks, is it the merchants? Everyone's got to get on board because our security is at risk.
Costs money to go from cassette tapes to CDs, but at some point you have to do it, right?
Well, it's funny you started with cassette. I would have started with 8-track, but okay.
That's what they are, these magnetic strips, right?
Absolutely, and the technology is very old.
Elaine talked a little bit about the impact that Target is seeing already. What is that?
Well, they did see transactions down by about 3 or 4% over the weekend compared with last weekend. Really interesting, though, Target stock didn't move last week. It was basically unchanged, a smidge higher. Investors are taking this in stride. I think they know that when you buy a retail stock, this is just part of the game.
It really is fascinating to hear because everybody's talking about this story right now. Jill, thank you so much.
Great to be with you.